This is the foil wrap usually used for candy wrapping that comes in your flower and cake design kit. And let's open it. And it's just this perfect square. And it's foiled on one side in a pretty color and just plain on the other. See the silver. What you can do is, if you run out of this, of course you can buy some more replacements of it. Or if you catch yourself in a pinch, you can actually buy aluminum foil and cut it into the squares. These are actually the lily nails. In the kit for flower and cake design comes 2 lily nails to help you make your lilies. And 1, 2. And they actually come as 2 parts, a top and a bottom for each. Lily nails come in a variety of different sizes, small, medium, and large, tiny as well. What you would do is separate your lily nail. This is the bottom, the part that has a cavity going down is the bottom. And you actually rest your paper on top gently. You help it out by just poking just a little bit, but not too much because you don't want to tear it. And the top actually is used for actually pushing it down nice and evenly. And then you can hold it with your thumb as you open anything that's folded towards you. Push it down so it won't get actually in the way and interfere in the quality workmanship of your lily when you make it. You can fold it under if you like, but don't fold it too tight. Because if you fold it too tight, it's going to be very difficult to get it off, and you don't want to actually take a chance that you're going to break your lily when you make your lily. And this is what it's going to look like after you folded it over the lily nail. This is the bottom. And this is what you're going to use to make the lily. The only reason why you actually have the top portion is to push it down. That's its purpose. And you do get 2 with your kit. If we were doing a project that required more than 1 large nail to be used, we can actually use our coupler. And since we're not, I'm going to set the coupler to the side, and you can watch a previous video on how to actually use a large coupler. Since this is the actual only thing I need is my tip 366 in my bag, I'm going to insert the nail, and the point goes down as far as it'll go, back it out a little bit, and snip off the very end of it. You want to snip off enough that the teeth actually show all the way through, because that actually will affect your design if you don't. So I have successfully made sure that the bag has cleared the teeth. We're going to use the actual lily nail that we actually formed our paper over, but this is actually full paper. So this is the bottom portion. We already formed it together and pulled back the edges slightly. We're going to actually make sure that we're holding this at a 45-degree angle, not a 90-degree, which is straight up and down, but a slight lean to the side, 45-degree angle. And we're going to make 3 triangles, one here, one here, one here. And we don't want the teeth to be on its side like this, one over here and one over here. We want them to be right above each other, one above the other, so that you really can't see it. And the way I like to explain it to my students is it actually looks like a bird beat, like it's looking for food for from his mom. So we're going to actually build it up and pull out 3 petals. Not too far, because if you pull it up too far, you make it fragile and it could potentially break on you. So we're making triangles. Now that we have our first set of triangles, we're going to actually overlap it, but not directly over the leaves that we created. We're going to come in between the 2 leaves that we created with 3 additional lily leaves. Starting here first. 1, 2, 3. And that's the beginning of our actual lily. And we're going to actually let it rest inside of here while it actually cures. I like to use a former, a flower former. This has a hole in the center of it and then a semicircle crescent on the side. What I like to do is actually remove my foil, and this is why I requested that you don't like tuck it in too tightly, because you don't want to pull it out too harsh and break any of your petals off. So keeping the shape, what I like to do is take one of my preformed wires. Here's one of my preformed wires with a little tear, a little drop on the side of it, and I poke it through the center. Drop it completely down until it actually disappears, or come close to disappearing. You don't want to pull it through your foil and tear it, so be careful doing this. And I try to loop it so that a wire can actually go through my former, through the hole. You just feed it right through the hole and drop it inside of the former. Now the crescent on the side, it can actually come out the crescent and just rest flatly on a flat surface. And I'll make a few more of these and let them cure before we go back and actually add the very center stamen to it. To finish off our lily, we're going to need some scissors to cut our stamens. Your stamens actually came with your flowers and cake decorating kit, or you can just simply buy them from the local craft store. There's a little wrapper band right here, and you want to simply cut at the base of the band. You're going to gently open up the stamens. Because this is something that you don't want to actually wait to open once you actually connected it to your flower. So once you have opened up your stamens, you're going to actually take your green icing with tip number 14, which is the smaller star tip. Pipe out a small star in the center. And with a moistened decorator brush, you're going to take some of the icing and just kind of give it a shadow around the edges of the stamen that you just created. And then you actually have your stamens that you've already opened, and you want to set it down inside of your star. And this is your completed lily.